Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be doing some small C++ programming. So as you can see on the screen, one question to realize this for ourselves. There is a scholarship related from the students, and we are asked to use the topic else if. We said we were instructed to write a C++ program that accepts a student's CGPA, or let me say GPA, and determines scholarship eligibility. Additional instruction is that if the CGPA is 3.5 or above, display eligible for engineering scholarship. Otherwise, display not eligible for engineering scholarship. The required task below shows to us for us to declare a suitable variable for GPA. Also, to accept GPA input from user. Use an if-else statement to determine eligibility and also to display the correct scholarship message. So we begin by going to our C++ software, which we use the dev C++. So to begin, in every C++ program, we start with hash include IOStream. As I've written nicely on the screen, you can see I've written hash include IOStream. In every C++ program, there's the first prompt or there's the first thing you need to write to indicate that you're writing a C++ program. So we move on to using our namespace std, using our namespace, put our semicolon over there. Then we move on to our next line, giving our end main. Together we also give our curly bracket, which is an open curly bracket. And within the open curly bracket, we write what we call double GPA. This indicates that we are come to write a GPA contest over here. We also put our semicolon over here. So we go down to the next line, and we also put what we call C out. Then we enter the student's GPA. Don't forget to also write your less than before you input your enter student's GPA. So when you're done with that, you just come to the same place again. You add your semicolon. It's like every prompt you make, we always need to add our semicolon before we move on to the next place. This indicates or this shows the C++ validity. Understand? So we move on to our next one and write we input our C in. We write our GPU over there with our semicolon. Always you should know this. Always you always need to input our CGPU over there. Then we also move on to the next line, which that is when we are going to use our if and else if statements over here, right? So the question that's stated over there, they say we should use our if and else if statement. So we write if GPA is greater or equal to 3.5. We should, if GPA is greater or equal to 3.5, then you bring in your what? A curly bracket. You enter, and within that curly bracket to plotting, right? See out results. And in the results is going to show the prompt of what you are going to write. So when you write your results, within the results space line, you write eligible for engineering scholarship as stated in the question. When you are done with that, we move on by ending the line. So what we write end line, end with the L. The L indicates line. Then what you move on to the other beside the closing curly brackets, write else, meaning if the statement doesn't show or the GPA is below the 3.5, else you understand. You write C out else, then you bring your another curly bracket to also show the other statements within. Then within that curly bracket, you see out results as usual not eligible for engineering scholarship, which is the opposite of the first one we did. Then after our statement over here, we end the line with our less than end the line, which we usually represent it by L. They use your semicolon. Then we move on to we input within the enclosed space. We write our return zero semicolon. So after writing your code, you need to check its validity. Meaning you need to run the code so that you get to whether it runs as you coded it. You understand? So you go to execute.